Welcome back. The Eastern Cape Department of Education has banned the sale and consumption of alcohol on all public school premises. This ban aligns with the Basic Education Laws Amendment Act and the South African Schools Act, both of which restrict alcohol at educational institutions. Some parents and schools argue this will cut off essential avenues for fundraising. Nearly 1 in 5 learners are drinking before the age of 13. And for more on this and why this ban matters, we now speak to Kashifa Ancer, who is the campaign manager for Rethink Your Drink, and she joins us now via our video link. Kashifa, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. I mean, let's start off here. Let's get firstly your reaction when it comes to that decision by the Education Department in the Eastern Cape.
Well, thank you very much for having me this evening. As Rethink Your Drink is an alcohol harms reduction campaign, we are in support of the restriction. We firmly believe that reducing alcohol harms in communities in South Africa at large is something that is of top priority, especially protecting young people, especially protecting learners. And so for schools to be restricted to have alcohol on their premises, whether it be at after school fundraising events as well, is for us something that we would like to applaud, that is now being implemented by the Eastern Cape Education Department.
And Kashifa, one would even ask, why was it allowed in the first place? Surely, even though you're raising funds for the school, surely alcohol shouldn't be allowed, particularly at our schools.
Well, I mean, if we're looking at it exclusively from a fundraising angle, one can understand why. Alcohol consumption is something that is very, very normalized in our society. And so when you're looking at ways to increase fundraising for operational needs, for infrastructure of your school, alcohol has become a very easy way to do that, especially if it's after school, after hours events, things like reunions and so on, where adults of legal drinking age would be in attendance. We can't blame schools for wanting to take this avenue. It is a very easy way to make revenue, but unfortunately it does come with an increased amount of harm, increased risk of violence, health concerns, and of course puts learners at significant risk as well.
Also, one would ask, why is this ban so important, and why does it matter in our society, particularly when we see, the stance being taken here by the Education Department?
Well, the aim from the Education Department is obviously to primarily protect learners from harmful exposure to alcohol. Early exposure to alcohol increases the likelihood of dependence in adulthood, increases the likelihood of academic decline, mental health problems, unsafe sexual practices. And this not only affects young learners, but the community that the school is placed in as well. Alcohol harm affects communities significantly with increased health costs, increased safety concerns, policing is placed under pressure, gender-based violence becomes an increased risk as well. So when we place restrictions like this, it's not only to look at it from a small lens, we need to look at it at the fact that bans like this really do protect communities from alcohol harm, which, is an ongoing crisis in South Africa at the moment.
And what would you say then is the ripple effect, particularly when you look at, the sale of alcohol at schools, and this obviously during fundraising events? What ripple effect does this have for schools trying to raise funds for itself?
So some of the opposition to this ban have raised this concern. Obviously, schools have raised the concern that their funding authority is being taken away from them, that they're unable to make decisions with regards to how they fundraise at their schools. A lot of schools have come forward saying that they want to challenge this decision in court, saying that it significantly reduces their ability to fundraise to the extent that they would like to fundraise for operational needs, infrastructure, and so on. But again, it is largely, on the positive side, the ripple effect here is that there would be a significant reduction in alcohol harm. Young learners are less exposed to alcohol within the school premises and within their school network as well, because young people are faced with excessive amounts of alcohol advertising. Alcohol is within their communities, at restaurants, and even in the home as well. So schools have a primary objective to protect learners, protect their rights, protect their safety, prioritize their health. And that does not only apply to during school hours, but after school hours as well. So a restriction like this has the ripple effect of protecting those learners, ensuring that the behavior that is modeled to them is positive, is healthy, and will benefit them in the future as well.
And Kashifa, talk about something quite important there, challenging this decision by the Department of the Eastern Cape. And one would ask, what are the ramifications should we see this being reversed, especially by those who would say, well, we're going to take this matter to court?
Well, a reversal would be quite concerning. There could be some serious long-term consequences for the health of the communities as well. We know that alcohol has significant impact on individuals' health and mental well-being. If young learners are exposed to alcohol from an early age, you quoted in the opening of this conversation about 1 in 5 young people report having had their first drink before the age of 13. The younger you start drinking, the more likely you are to be dependent on alcohol as you grow older. Health concerns, things like fetal alcohol spectrum disorder is at an all-time high in South Africa as well. Gender-based violence generally is at an all-time high in South Africa as well. So what we want to make sure that we do is ensure that we're doing everything that we can to curb these harms, especially when they come in relation to children. So reversing this ban could have some serious long-term consequences. However, the Department of Education in the Eastern Cape has remained steadfast in their decision and has publicly stated that they would be defending themselves from any kind of reversal or challenge in court. Yes.
All right, Kashifa Ancer, thank you so much for your time. That's Kashifa Ancer there, the campaign manager for Rethink Your Drink, just giving us their reaction to the decision by the Department of Education in the Eastern Cape. They've taken a decision to ban the sale of alcohol on school premises.